The dumbest creatures to ever live. Koalas. How one of the worst designs in nature somehow survived. Koalas look cute, fluffy, calm, almost peaceful. But behind that teddy bear face is one of the most baffling survival strategies in the animal kingdom. Koalas are not just unintelligent. They are biologically inefficient, cognitively limited, and completely dependent on one of the worst food sources on Earth. And yet, they're somehow survived for centuries. How? The brain problem. Let's start with the brain. Intelligence in animals is strongly linked to brain folding. The more folds a brain has, the more surface area it can pack into a small space. More folds mean more neurons, more connections, more problem-solving ability. Koalas? Their brains are almost completely smooth. In fact, relative to body size, koalas have one of the smallest and least folded brains of any animal. A smooth brain means limited learning, limited flexibility, and almost no ability to adapt to new situations. This is why koalas struggle with even simple changes in their environment. A diet from hell. Eucalyptus. Now let's talk about food. Koalas eat almost exclusively eucalyptus leaves. This would be fine if eucalyptus wasn't one of the worst plants you could possibly eat. Eucalyptus leaves are toxic, extremely low in nutrients, difficult to digest. Most animals avoid eucalyptus entirely. Koalas don't. Why? Because evolution trapped them there. Millions of years ago, eucalyptus became widespread in Australia. Koalas specialized in eating it, and in doing so, eliminated competition. The problem? Eucalyptus provides almost no energy. That's why koalas can't afford complex brains. Brains burn calories, so evolution shrank it. Why koalas sleep so much? If you've ever seen a koala, you've probably seen it sleeping. That's because koalas sleep 18 to 22 hours a day. And this actually isn't laziness, it's survival. Digesting eucalyptus takes enormous effort for almost no reward. Koalas conserve energy by doing almost nothing. They move slowly, they react slowly, they think slowly. Every unnecessary movement costs calories they don't have. In a strange way, sleep is the smartest thing a koala does. The most disgusting part. Baby koalas. And now, the part most people don't know. Baby koalas, called joeys, cannot digest eucalyptus at all. Their gut bacteria isn't ready yet. So how do they survive? By eating their mother's feces. Not normal feces, a special substance called pap. Pap is partially digested eucalyptus loaded with the exact bacteria needed to survive on this diet. It's disgusting. But it's necessary. Without it, the joey would starve. This is not intelligence, it's biological dependency. Why koalas seem so confused? Koalas don't recognize food unless it's attached to a branch. If you place eucalyptus leaves on a flat surface, many koalas won't understand that it's food. Their brains are not designed for abstraction. They operate on instinct and pattern recognition. Nothing more. This makes them incredibly fragile outside of very specific conditions. Why you should never touch a koala? Koalas look calm, soft, harmless, and cute. But if you ever see one in the wild, do not approach it. Not because it's aggressive, but because it's biologically dangerous. Koalas are known carriers of multiple diseases, the most common and widespread being chlamydia. In some regions of Australia, over 50% of koalas are infected. Koala chlamydia is not the same strain found in humans, but it causes devastating effects. It can lead to blindness, chronic urinary tract infections, infertility, and severe pain. Infected koalas often suffer in silence, which makes the disease hard to detect from the outside. And koalas are not passive animals. When threatened, they can bite. And a koala bite is not cute. It's deep, it's bacterial, and it can cause serious infection. That's why wildlife experts all say the same thing. If you see a koala, admire it from a distance. Cute does not mean safe, and wild does not mean friendly. The evolutionary paradox. So by almost every modern measure, koalas seem like a terrible evolutionary design. A small, smooth brain, an extremely toxic and low-energy diet, minimal behavioral flexibility, and total dependence on a single type of tree. And yet, they are not extinct. In fact, despite habitat loss, bushfires, and climate stress, koalas still exist in significant numbers across Australia. Current estimates suggest that there are between 100,000 and 300,000 koalas living in the wild today. That number fluctuates depending on region, but the key point is this. Koalas did not survive because they are intelligent. They survived because they are specialized. Evolution doesn't reward cleverness. It rewards efficiency within a niche. Koalas found a food source that almost no other animal could tolerate. By giving up intelligence, speed, and flexibility, they eliminated competition entirely. Their slow metabolism, long sleep cycles, and simplified brain are not bugs, they are features. In evolutionary terms, koalas are not failing upward. They are doing exactly what they evolved to do. They don't need to innovate. They don't need to explore. They don't need to understand their world. They only need eucalyptus and enough time to sleep. Koalas are not failures of nature. They are proof that survival does not require brilliance. Sometimes, being just good enough is enough. If you want to understand nature more than you do, consider subscribing to the channel and turn on notifications. Also, drop a like and let me know in the comments. What do you think about koalas?